What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm back. I'm uploading some more videos. In today's video, we are going to be doing just a small review of Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Yes, I know I'm so late to this game. I'm so late. I was not able to play it back when it came out in October. I did get it. I've had this game for like 3 weeks now, 2 weeks. I have fully 100% completed it. On max difficulty. I'm very proud of that. So yes, I have completed this game fully. I know everything about it. I do have just the regular edition. But I want to go over everything about this game and just do like a review. But before we do a review on this game, we have to look back at where we came from. What started all of this? So in 2018, Spider-Man released for the PlayStation 4, and I didn't play it. I wasn't interested. I had no interest at all. I was just with the mindset, I was like, this will never be as good as the Batman Arkham games. I'm not even gonna give it a chance. So I didn't play it, and then 2020, this got remastered, or the first game got remastered, and Miles Morales came out. Didn't play it then either. A year later, when I finally got a PS5 in 2021, I sat down and played Spider-Man Miles Morales. I did not play Spider-Man PS4 or Spider-Man Remastered until fully about 2 years ago. Like early 2022. So it was after I already played Miles Morales in December of 2021. And I played it, I got about like 95% through the main story. I didn't get to the ending, so I had no idea what the ending was. I just gave up. And when I first got to that point, I was under the impression I was only about 60% through the game. Because on the screen, it doesn't show you how far you are through the story. It only shows like how far you are through the full game. So I thought I was only 60% through. I was so bored with it, and I was done. Now that I fully played it, I gotta say, I think the first game is about a 6 out of 10. I think it's good. It's a good superhero game, but it's not perfect. It's got a lot of issues. Certain things, like certain characters, I was not a fan of Mr. Negative. The MJ missions were very boring. I think the web slinging was a bit slow. And just some other things. I didn't like the way the spider suit looked, the upgraded one. I thought it was a little too orange. That's just a nitpick. There's a few other things I just wasn't a fan of. There's a few plot holes in the game that I just thought were weird. But overall, a solid game. We jump to Miles Morales. Huge improvement, in my opinion. I think Miles Morales is a significantly better game, even though it's more like a DLC than it is a game, considering its very short runtime. Miles... the first game is about 15 hours. Miles Morales is about 7 hours. But I think they improved on the web swinging. I think it has a much better message within the actual story. I think this whole message of how anybody can be the hero, and, Miles is coming into his own. It's a very, just heroic type of story. And it's very, very good. A significant improvement. I think the atmosphere is much better. I love the whole Christmas theme. An 8 out of 10 game. Now, we get to Spider-Man 2. They pretty much took everything that was good about the first game, made it better, and then took everything that was bad about the first game and took it out. This game is an 8.5. I do like it slightly better than Miles Morales. It's a significant improvement to the first game. The web swinging is so much faster, so much more clean. You really feel like you're swinging through the city, man. The web swinging is fantastic in this game. I love the story itself. I think, Kraven and Venom are much more interesting villains than Mr. Negative was. Mr. Negative, one of the worst villain choices to have as your main villain. I know he technically wasn't the main villain of the first game. It was Doc Ock all along. But let's be honest. We spent about 60 to 70% of the game as Mr. Negative as our main villain. He was not good. He's much better in this, even though he's a good guy in this game. Spoiler alert, which I'm sure y'all probably have already played it. I think the city, how it expanded, I think it's so much more realistic feeling with the way people act and the way people look and their designs. I love the whole, you know, other section of the map with Queens and Brooklyn, and yeah, you know, you got the pier. You know, it's just so much better. The traversal, again, the web swing is 10 times better, but the web wings, oh, it's such a fun traversal. The Spider-Man 2 has the best traversal system of any game I've ever played, ever. Their traversal just never gets old. Like, again, having beat it for 2 weeks, I still log on almost every day to listen to some good music and swing around the city and have fun. It's a great time. Side missions, such an improvement. In the first game, I hated the side missions. The one character in the first game, I cannot remember, it's like the teenage child, the one who was obsessed with posting things on the internet. I cannot remember the name of the character, but their side missions were so bad. It made the game so unmotivating to play after the story was complete. These side missions are great. From Mysterio's side missions are a ton of fun to go into this like really trippy world and just complete these challenges are great. Sandman's Memories or Marco's Memories side missions are fun. You just get to go and you get to beat up his sand people and you get to figure out this very cool, interesting story of essentially how Craven drove Sandman crazy again, and that's what triggered the beginning events of the game. Very interesting. You know, taking back the city from the hunters in like 3 different side missions, kind of like how in Gotham or in Batman Arkham Knight you took Gotham City back from the militia. Very similar to that. A lot of these side missions are very rewarding as well. You get to unlock all these different cool suits. Another thing, suits. We're going to get into that in a minute. I want to finish the side mission part. Yeah, there's just tons of fun side missions. Getting to meet different villains that aren't in the main story. Such a good time. I'm trying to think of what other side missions are in the game. I know I'm leaving out some. Besides the Hunters and Mysterio and Sandman, oh my god, I'm completely drawing a blank on what other side missions there are. Oh yeah, the Wraith side missions. Those are also a ton of fun, where you get to do some side missions with Yuri and you get to meet Carnage for the first time. Hopefully that is a huge setup for the next game. I'm sure he'll either be incorporated in Spider-Man 3 somehow, or he'll be another side mission, which I hope not. I hope we'll actually get him in the main story. But yeah, so some great side missions in this game, and then suits. Oh, I cannot wait to get into suits. All right, such an improvement on suits in this game. The way you unlock suits from doing side missions, that's nothing new. That was in the first 2 games. But man, you just get such a nice array and different combination of suits. You get different color variations for suits. I think Miles and Peter's default suits in this game, I'll show you an up-close look right there. Their default suits in this game are so much better than they were in the last 2 games. Well, Miles was okay. I didn't like Peter's default suit. They're so good in this game that I actually, half the time, want to run around with these suits on because they're such cool designs and they're great. Not to mention the color variations. One of my favorite suits in the game is this suit with the black and red instead of the blue and red. Oh, it's such a good combination. You get these awesome suits, which are some of my favorites to rock, especially for Miles. They're very hard to see because it's all black, but they got these nice hoods with the capes on. They look so sick. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit, my favorite live-action Spider-Man suit, finally gets added to the game. It's near perfect. You get the black Raimi suit, awesome. Even though, again, they're not completely accurate to the movie. One thing I wish they would have did was upgrade the Amazing Spider-Man 1 suit. They still didn't do that. It still looks weird. It's way too bright. The eyes aren't right. Just, again, small nitpicks, but overall, great. For Miles, you get his suit from the last game, which was great. You get the Black Panther and Wolverine suits, which look awesome. Again, some of my favorite suits to free roam as. I love those suits. They're so clean looking. Yeah, there's a great amount of suits. You get the classic black suit for Peter. The black suits in the game are pretty good. I'm not the biggest fan of the regular black suit that you get, like when Peter first gets the symbiote. I'm not a fan of that one, but when it becomes angrier and it's got like the more angry expression and the spider design is like growing and the suit's becoming more unstable and angrier, that version I love. Now let's get into the story. This is a very strong story. It is a little bit kind of all over the place at times. I think Venom came into the game a little too late. Venom doesn't become a full bad guy. Like, you don't even really meet Venom until I'd say the last 2 hours of the game. He's at the very, very end. So you don't get much of him. I also think some of the Kraven missions are a bit uninteresting and uninspired. Having to do some of these Kraven missions throughout the story was really unmotivating. Like, some of them I really just didn't feel like doing. And I found times throughout my playthrough where I was just like, all right, I'm going to get off and take a break. I don't really feel like going to do that next Kraven mission. I'm just going to take a break. Sometimes I felt myself doing that. So the Kraven missions weren't too great. Venom does come into the game a little bit too late, like I said. I love the addition of Harry in this story. I think he adds such a just new layer to the story. At the same time, I feel there isn't enough room for him. Because even in the story, I feel like this story is so much more Peter's than it is Miles. Miles is not in this story as much, and I feel like a huge part of that is because of Harry. Miles takes a huge backseat in this story at times. And there'll just be times where you're playing as Peter for like 3 hours and you won't hear from Miles, you won't see him. Especially when you're in the black suit, all of a sudden Peter will just hang up the phone when he calls. And there's just a big portion of the game that Miles isn't in, and it's because Peter's so focused on Harry. So I wish they kind of would have balanced that out a tad bit more. I think I still a huge problem with this game, and this is the same problem I had with the first game, MJ. I feel like Peter and MJ's chemistry is non-existent in this game. I do not feel like they have good chemistry at all. Yuri Lowenthal and the actress they got to play MJ, they have zero chemistry. They don't even feel like boyfriend and girlfriend, to be honest. They feel like friends, like really close friends. And yeah, their relationship and their love doesn't feel real or visceral at all, in my opinion. The MJ missions are stupid still in this game. I hate walking around as MJ. Like, I don't want to play as MJ. I want to play as Miles and Peter. Yeah. Playing as Venom was awesome. That was a great part of this game. The boss fights in this game are just top tier. Fighting Lizard's awesome. Venom, getting to fight Venom twice is awesome. Black Suit Peter, awesome boss fight. Kraven boss fight twice, fantastic. You get to fight Mr. Negative again, which I know I don't like Mr. Negative, but his boss fights in the first game were pretty cool. And they're even better in this game. You get to fight him as well. So many great boss fights. Sandman. You literally start off the game with a boss fight. Like, it's awesome. Yeah, there is just tons to love about this game. I feel like this is one of those games that you can play for like a very long time and it'll hold up until we get the next Insomniac game, which will be Wolverine. Unfortunately, by the looks of it and by things we're hearing, we're not going to get another Spider-Man game until 2028, which is going to suck. Because the end of this game sets up the next game beautifully. It is a beautiful setup for the end. And yeah, it's just all blends together pretty well. And I cannot wait to see where they go with this story. This is a very good game. I definitely recommend you buy it. 8.5 out of 10 for me. It's a truly amazing game. Insomniac did a fantastic job. Yeah, Spider-Man 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.